Okay, my name is Mary, and this is my first performance in English, so I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm sorry if something wouldn't be clear. I really try. I will do my best. So, my name is Mary, and currently I'm working as a head of development department in a cloud provider. It's Beeline Cloud and sub-company DataFort. So, today I would like to speak about situation for women in IT. Personally, I think that it means a lot to just speak about this situation and to clear our vision about it. I also have some cards to just have some, sorry. Okay, so I told, who am I? I missed all the,
Oh.
Please help me. Sorry. It's backwards, so I should change it.
It's okay, talk.
Yeah. It's just not reacting.
So there are a lot of myths and facts, and some of them are strange, some of them are painful, and I'm gonna speak about bigger of them. And first of the myths that not myths, that women have smaller brains. And usually when someone speak about it, it's usually a man, and usually it means that women have less possibilities to do something. It's something wrong with their decision making, or their possibility to learn, and other stuff, possibility in math and other. And it seems like simple thing, but for example, I was speaking with my father, as I was head of development department at this time, and he just told me that it's for sure women brains is smaller than men, and this is why so less women in history, and this is why we don't know famous women, we know only famous men, and it's okay, and you should sit, and I will speak with your husband. And my father, he's a really good man. It's just a vision, and it's strange for me. So, yes, on average, women's brain are smaller by about 10%. And the next fact, Einstein's brain was smaller than others' men's brain on average. So brain size, yes, it happens. It depends on body. So we have some space in our head, and it's usually it's filled with brains. So if you have less space, you will have smaller brains, and that's it. So, for example, elephants have bigger brains. Yes. Sorry, but I don't know any elephant in IT. Maybe you know. Okay, tell me please. So this is because of our body sizes, and it means nothing. But today I'm going to talk a lot about researches, poll and other stuff, and so there was a lot of scientific research and studies, and it was clear that difference between men and women brains could be only in size. So no, there is no hardware issues with it. Yes, there are some differences. For example, the first one, men has front-to-back connection most of the time, and women have side-to-side connection. And it doesn't affect their decision making, for example. It's only type of connections. The second point, men are better in motor skills. So it's just like a history thing which leads to it. And women better with intuitive thinking. So it's for sure. And the last fact that our brain, men's and women's, have different health impact. So men more often could ill with Parkinson's disease, and women more often with a stroke. So that's it, no hardware difference. Oh, I missed the order of my cards, then it's awful, but I'm gonna deal with it. Okay. Sorry. The next myth. Women are inherently illogical. What does it mean illogical? I don't know, but usually when someone speaks about illogicality of women, it's usually about hormones and emotions. And here we should tell that yes, on average, women are more emotional than men. And but emotions and hormones affect both women and men behavior. And it's an early state of studies how our emotions and hormones affects our brain activities. But for example, there were men who had an injury in a part of brain which was about emotions and how we react on something, how we feel about it. And this man almost couldn't make a decision. So if he had one thing and second thing and he had to decide, he can argue both sides. He was clear, he was present, everything was okay, but he almost cannot make decision because he has a broken emotions part of his brain. Most of all, we have unconscious consciousness in our brain. So unconsciousness, it's about our animal reactions when our hormones in charge. So if we are scared, we can run if it's a fast situation. And so our this part of our brain is really quick, and usually we cannot understand it. We just feel and do, and only then we can understand what's going on. So it's a really fast part of our brain, and our consciousness is much more less fast. Sorry. And here's the thing: we can fastly feel how we feel about the situation, and after it we can logically think and argue and other stuff. But what we feel, it's usually what we decide in future. So, but in 19th century, mostly men, because they were deciding, tell that education affects reproductive system, women reproductive system, and they don't need to be in a college and universities. So it's 200 years before, women just can't have education, so they would do something special and be in science. And the next, my favorite thing, US Space at the beginning banned women from the program because of concern of temperament and psychophysiologic issues. So you are women and you are just dangerous for space. Okay, and the last myth, that IT is not for girls. It's a big myth, and it contains a lot of inside of it. And sorry, I'm nervous and I'm missing my cards. Okay, the third myth, it's a mix of prejudice and yes. 40% of women who earn engineering degrees quit or never enter the profession. So it seems like IT is not for women, yes? But since 19th century to the Second World War, programming was mostly done for women, by women. Sorry. For example, first algorithm was invented by women, Ada Lovelace. First compiler for programming language was invented by Grace Hooper. Almost everything a big part of NASA engineering was made by women. Also true for code breaking during World War II. Also true for Harvard computers. So I would like to tell here more about ENIAC. Maybe someone know what is it, ENIAC? Okay, there was a first computer. It was invented during the Second World War, and during the inventing, there were 6 women who were engineers, and they were participating in it. And there was a photo of ENIAC, and these 6 women were standing near it, and the phrase under the photo said that they are just models. So they were engineers, and they did it, the computer, and on the photo they were named as models, only models. And when I think about it, it feels like it's really not fair. I don't know why they did it this time, but I think this is why women started to leave such jobs. Maybe there is no true reason. No one knows why it was happening. So I have the question for you: which toy would you buy for a boy?
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Yeah.
My appreciation. Usually, as you know, blue bear for a boy and pink bear for a girl. And this is the key for the situation, because from the beginning, boy and girl have some stereotype effect. Stereotype effect is a big thing. It feels like nothing, but on a physical point of view, when you are said that you are not capable of something, you have decreasement of working memory in brains. So it really affects you. So if you told that you are not good at math, you will have less possibilities just on hardware in your brain. So it affects. Okay. Sorry. And there was a study about bears that 90% boys think that their parents disapprove if they choose dolls or dressing or girls games, and it's true for girls too. So it's a big thing. Okay, so how is it now? 11% computing occupation held by women, and it was declines and since World War II, and in 2018 it was 11%. It's about 2018. Now it's about 25% of computing jobs on average, and I recently was speaking with Nino. She's in charge of Women in Tech Georgia, and she said to me that it's only about 7% in Georgia, women in tech. So this is real numbers. And this 25% mostly in Facebook, Apple, Google, and other big companies, mostly in US. So it's just not all the world. It's just here in US. So if we will speak who who women in this 25%, it's mostly white women, more than 15%. 5% Asian women, and less African, Latina, and Hispanic. 20%. Women make up 20% of engineering graduates, yet only 11% of practicing engineers are women. So when we speak about 25% of women in tech, in Google, Facebook, and other companies, it's not only engineers, it's product owners, scrum masters, and other stuff. And only 11% from them are engineers. So, as we said, 40% of women who earned engineering degrees would either quit or never enter the specialty, the profession. And when they were talking with girls, only 3% of girls said that they would consider tech positions in the future. Only 3% talk about it. So girls just don't think about their possibilities in such space. And 5% leadership position in the tech sector held by women. 5% tech startup owned by women. And only 11% women executions. There is a rating, 500 companies in Fortune, and only 11 women executives in this rating. This is my favorite part. Stack Overflow, only 7% of women. And the best thing, only 6% of women on GitHub. Only 6%. So, yes, it happens to see women in tech, but it's a really rare kind. With such pace in this sphere, it will take until 2133 to close the gender gap. So, my question, why do we need women in tech? Maybe it's okay without. So, first of all, financial thing. There are a lot of studies, of course, that firms with women have higher return on own capital, that firms with women have higher net income growth, 14% with women, 10% without women, and also such companies have better outcome. Better outcome, it's about product. So product, it's more complex approach to product development. So I'm gonna tell you some stories here. For example, emoji. They were invented in 1980. Until 2016, they were only masculine. Emoji was only based by man appearance. And for example, this time mostly women was using emoji. And now we are all using them. But that time, most of them was women, and still they used man-typed emoji. In 2012, Ford Focus, there was a situation that women asked Ford why voice recognition control listen only her husband in a car. So even her husband was a car on a passenger seat, voice control was listened only to him. And company answer was system not designed for women. 2012. 2016, Google. Speech recognition Google in 2016 was more 70% more accurate for men. 70%. And the last one, Google algorithms more often shows high-paid salaries, jobs position for men than for women. So women just sometimes just not see job opportunities which could see men in ads. So of course it leads to less women in such position. Oh, diversity of thought. So yes, why we need diversity? There was some studies too. For example, 73% better business decision made if team has other type of person in team. So if they have women, they would make better decision. Also, it would let more lights and opportunities and vulnerabilities, because it would be just more complex view to the problem. And the last one interesting, if there were women and teams, not only men, meetings was more efficient twice and faster, and decisions were better. So it leads to better product and leads to better capital return and this kind of stuff. So I hope you agree with me that we need women in tech, and what we can do to bring more women here. first of all, we have to fix pipeline. So women and girls would just think that they could see their intake sometimes. So there were a poll too, poll about women and men were asked to name famous men and women in tech. And 67% of people could tell famous men, and only 22% of people could name famous women. So when you don't know someone from the tech, for example, if you're a girl, you don't feel that you can do it too. So you should have role models. You should think that if she can do it, I could do it too. So we should break cultural standard myths. It's not easy, but we should start from ourselves. We should have more women as role models. So here are these mentoring programs, and we need more women in STEAM education. So women would teach people, men and girls and boys too. And we have to improve our hiring process. And it's like an egg and chicken problem, because if we don't have women in hiring, we won't have women who apply for jobs, and this is circle, yes? But for my experience, when I see vacation job opportunities, and sometimes they started write a phrase that we appreciate women to apply to this position. There are some vacations, I saw them. And when I saw it, I think that it's not a tech bro company, and I think that they are open to really invite me in team. So it may be small step, but it really works for me, for example. So also we need more women during technical interview, but we won't have them if we won't engage women to apply for jobs. Increase support for working parents. There is a statistic here too. During COVID-19, women had to take more responsibilities at home. Men too, of course. It's 19% of men and 29% of women. And in US, in America, 1.2 million people during COVID had to exit their workspace because of more responsibility at home. And 1.2 billion and 900,000 of them were women. So women on average do more stuff at home, and they just have to sometimes take kid from a kindergarten, and flexible work schedule really helps here. We also should work on reducing of parental discrimination. So now if you give birth to a baby, you had to go to a parental leave. But it works both ways. I know men who did it and it was okay. It works too, so why not? And not every country had paid parental leave, so it's really necessary. And the last thing, we should break tech bro culture. Once I was working in a company, it was a development team, and I was backend developer here. There were only men, and I was the only woman. And sometimes, usually on the meetings, when I try to speak something about how I think we should do it or other stuff, and they just tell me, no, thank you, we can decide without you. And I try to do something with it. I tell with our CTO about it, with our CEO, and he did nothing. So once I just have to leave the company because it was no opportunity for growth for me, for example, because no one would listen for me. And what we should do, we can do with it, we of course, we could and we would have more women in tech, it would be better. We should encourage women in your team. And my favorite part, please shake women's hand. Now I work in a cloud provider and I'm the only manager in tech department. And there are meetings when each guy shake hand other guy, and I'm trying to join the club, and they just have a strange look at me, and I feel myself like I don't good here, I don't know. And sometimes they are joking about me in a swimming suit, you know, and it's in such things, women really, as I can say, feel yourself insecure, and it's not okay to do it. And if someone do it in your team, just shut him up. So it's okay. And we as community are trying to do something too to help with the situation. And we have started our wing of women, so we have a domain, Women IT Club Gear. I'm gonna leave this wing, and if you're a woman, please contact me, and we will do it together. So, the next thing, it's very difficult. We decided that we each meetup, we would have at least one woman speaker. And if it's gonna be me every time, it would be crazy. So please, I'm okay. I would glad to help if you're a woman, and if you're ready, I would help with slides. I would help with topic. I would have to prepare you, but please help me so I wouldn't be each time the only woman on a meetup. Okay. And we are thinking and started preparing a short web development course for women, so that women who never think about tech and working in a different jobs would just try and feel that it's possible to them. It's possible, it's okay, and she can do it. So, join tech, create future. Thank you for listening. Maybe you do have some question?
No, all clear.
Okay.
Can you switch back one slide?
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Okay.
Vlad?
Cool. Yeah. Then we need to
Okay.
make a switch.
I'll go check on our daughter.
Yeah. Oh, my laptop is over there.
You didn't share your presentation with me.
No.
Okay. Very thoughtful
Oh.
of you. Sorry.
Yeah.
We will have
Wait a second.
You can take tea and.
Yeah, there is a tea over there and
Pumpkin.
maybe left some lemonade
Cookies.
and cookies. So feel free. A technical pause for.
Sorry.
If you're smoking, I suggest you to drop it. Yeah, but if you need, you can go and have a 5-minute break. Oh, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, молодец. А как тебе ассоциация вообще?
Yeah, so we will wait until everybody gets back.
Уже возвращаться?
Нет, я стоял.
Мы с тобой на улице
Хочешь, я вам сделаю? Сделаю и напишу.
Okay. I think там, вот там, за этим комнатным шкафом. Okay. So, let's continue. Mary told you about the serious topic. I will talk about less serious one. So, when you're starting or only thinking about start your IT career, what you see that, oh, it's a great salaries, it's a lot of fun, it's so cool. Take our courses, and in 3 weeks you will have the top salary and all of this stuff. Nobody talks about problems that developers have. So I decided to talk a little bit about this. So it will be a kind of story. In a dark, dark world, in a dark, dark city, in a dark, dark office, 2 new developers lit up. They are just newcomers, they finished some courses, they think about this. Well, this will be a bright road ahead and only fun. So, what's happening in the reality? Dark secret number 1, onboarding process. So they started their work in a big company, just joined the team, and illustration should be here. And
Here.
okay. Interesting. I can see this. Oh, okay, yeah, it's loaded. So they're somewhere in the team right now, and they get to their places and think, okay, right now somebody will come and help us to understand what's going on. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and nothing happening. Because some companies really doing cool onboarding process. They take you, you have the special body who are working together with you, explain you everything, but the main word here, some. Unfortunately, not close to all companies at all. So be ready that your lead or onboarding manager will have no time for you. As you can see, this is your lead and he's on fire. Because, we have the deadlines, we have the bugs in production, we need so much to do. I am sorry, not today. Tomorrow I will find your time for you, definitely. But tomorrow will be the same. He will be always on fire. So, more of that. You even maybe have no any lead or onboarding manager. You just will, our previous team just left, so you need to cover this up. Okay. What this means, you need to do everything by yourself. And everybody says, oh, we have great documentation. Well, it's great in terms of size. But completely unstructured, and if you don't know what's happening, you can't understand what's happening from this documentation because it's unstructured. And for example, you need the VPN access to be able just to get code from the server. And you send a request to IT help desk and wait, and wait again. So, what to do with all of this? Because I'm not only talking the scary tales, I'm also adding some answers. When you're going to the interview, ask about onboarding process, just to be aware about what is waiting you. More of that, if you are accepting the offer, get the name and contacts not only of your lead, but about contacts of his manager. Because if your lead is always on fire, this is the problem for company. And you need to highlight this to his manager and say, okay, I'm in you here and I'm doing nothing. Literally, you are paying me salary for just waiting. I'm okay. I can do this all the time, but maybe company wants something me to code. So don't be shy. It's the very important topic. A lot of people just thinking, oh, they are all busy. They really don't have time for me. And I will ask the stupid questions. Maybe I need to read the documentation one more time. That's the wrong behavior. There is no stupid questions. Stupid thing is only not asking questions. So don't be shy, and more of that, become a stalker. Literally, just hunt for your lead all the time. Lead going to the bathroom, you go into the bathroom too and asking questions. Because, oh, he had 3 minutes of his free time. I will use it for myself. And the most effective way to get deeper into the problem and into the project is to do something. So ask for the task. It will be small, it will be low priority, nothing important, nothing complex, but it should be a task, because then you will have a path and a target to read the documentation, because from the huge documentation you will need to understand the smallest part. And with the code, the same situation, you will need just to understand one small piece at a time. And set boundaries. So, if you are going to ask for a ticket, and this ticket will be related to one part of the system, continue to work on this part of the system later. So not switching from one part of the product to another, because narrow and deep is better for the beginner than wide and not deep. So, secret number 2. And this is a technology zoo. What does it mean? I will explain on the example of, oh yeah, here it is. I don't know why it's showing images only for the second time. Okay, so I think everybody familiar with this. It's a source code storage. Well, it's a version control system, but there is a kind of some services which used for storing the source code, and From company to company, you think that, oh, it's GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket, three big tools, and when you're going to a new job, for example, you think, okay, there will be something similar, or one of them. Unfortunately, it's not true. There is dozens of other names and tools for doing the same thing, and many companies using something from this. And you have experience with one, cannot be useful in other company. And this is not only about the Git related stuff, it's about everything. So hundreds of databases, hundreds of deployment tools, everything have a lot of alternatives, and build compilers, library versions, and more of that, even language version. For example, Python. There is a Python 2 and Python 3. Python 2 is a history, but you still can find a place where it's used, and it's a little bit different language than Python 3. And you just can't take a library built for Python 3 and use in Python 2. And a lot of such things related to all programming languages, versioning and more of that. Quite often you see some kind of tool. So for example, for build and run code, there is a raw shell scripts. People can use Minikube, or it's a local version of the Kubernetes. Docker Compose, Vagrant, other virtualization. And you think, okay, I will open the documentation for this particular thing and we'll learn it. The problem is that you're trying to do something to your project according to the official documentation of Kubernetes, for example, and it just don't work. You going to your lead and asking why it's not work. And the regular answer here, oh, documentation is fine, yeah, Kubernetes is cool, but we have the very special case here. And I can assure you, everybody around have the very special case. So they're using in technologies is some personal way. So again, so exact situation with pipelines for after build. So what to do with all of this? Because you just started work, you choose the ticket, and only to start the project locally on your computer, you already see a couple of additional tools, maybe dozen of tools, and what to do. First answer here, don't try to understand all of this stuff. It's not your job. Your job is, if you are a software developer, to develop. So ask for help. Just take your lead in the toilet, give him your laptop and say, okay, start the project for me, and I will be able to work on the ticket. But in addition, you can't always catch your lead in the toilet. So ask him to build a learning path, because different tools have different priority in the company. So ask how I need to learn these tools. Which is first, which next. And then, yeah. And the next thing. Okay, finally your project is set up on your laptop, and ticket is assigned to you, and you think, okay, I'm going to code. Well, do you think the programming is a code writing? No, because it's not a code writing at all. It's meetings, a lot of meetings. In the big companies, you will have most likely, you will have kind of agile process, for example, Scrum, and you will have daily meetings, you will have planning, you will have ticket refinement, you will have backlog grooming, you will have retrospective, you will have sprint planning. So you will look into your camera a lot. Well, okay, at one moment all of this will pass and you will finally sit in the quiet room and think, okay, I will finally start coding. Be ready, it's not just take code and do this. First of all, be ready for implicit behavior. For example, Django signals all ROL events It's a kind of thing in different frameworks when you can affect on program process from the side. So you're looking in the code and see, okay, this code should, I don't know, write a 1 into the database. Just it. You running the code and see in the database 3. Why 3? I can see in the code here 1. And unfortunately, a lot of programming frameworks have this kind of behavior that can change things not in the place they are coded because of different magical things. So be ready. And also just the languages itself have a lot of implicit behavior. Also exceptions everywhere. We live in the microservice area, and this means that we have a lot of communication between services. This means that any kind of communication can broke. For example, network issues or remote services down, and you will have a lot of, you will need to think about all possible edge cases, how your program can fail. For example, Golang is built on this idea. You need to catch all possible exceptions there, otherwise the program will be not compiled at all. Compiler will say, okay, this here, unhandled exception. More of that, you took a ticket with a problem from the client. You're running it yourself, and it works. You call in the client and say, okay, it works. Client try again, says no, it doesn't work. So there is a so-called floating bugs. You can't catch them easily. They are happening as a consequences of the environment or something. So it's very hard to debug, but you have a ticket, you need to fix this because client is not happy. And this is hell, because you will spend a lot of time on this. One of the things that everybody says, okay, take a look in the logs, what's happening. You go into the logs and there is two most common situations. There is no logs at all. Or there are logs, too much of them. You can't just read through it because it's a mess. Okay, we talked already for 20 minutes about programming and don't touch the code. So let's touch the code. Do you know math? How many will be this? Any suggestions?
0.3.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, it'd be like this. In the most programming languages, just because of the floating point specific. Computer don't know nothing about the how it calls irrelevant numbers. It have representation, and this representation have tricks. So remember this forever. That's why exactly this problem, why you never should use the float type in the databases to store money. Because in a million transactions, your budget will not fit. Because there will be a sense of lost money. But if you have billions of the transactions, you will have a lot of lost money over they are just in data because of this representation of floating numbers. Some JavaScript. Do you know what will be here? No? Well, in JavaScript it will be banana. Do you see any M here? No? This is one of the examples. JavaScript have tons of the examples of typecasting. It tries to predict what type of variables you're using and trying to summarize, to sum. So in fact, you see here two classes. Between them, nothing. And then this pair, for example, it summarizes like a string. And here is not a number, which represented by special type none. But when you are trying to summarize none with the string, it becomes the non-string, and that's why we have the banana here. And some Python. For example, we have the big number. We're adding 1 to this. It's become this is 3, this is 4, it's okay. What will happen if we will add 1.0? So in fact also 1. What the result, what the last number will be? Any suggestions?
It will be the number with point something.
Almost. It will be with a point or something, but it will be 2. So we are taking 3, adding 1.0 and getting 2. It's decreasement. In fact, this is again about the floating point numbers and difficulties in calculation of the big numbers, because it's the type change inside. It changes from being the integer to becoming a long. So very difficult machinery is under the hood of programming languages, and sometimes it makes such happening things. One last question. So for example, in Python, type of 1 is integer, it's okay. Type of -1 is also integer. Type of 1 power 1, so it's also integer. And what is the type of 1 powered -1?
Float.
Yes, this is float. But it's still, we use integer, and receive the float. But here, integer. So it's again crazy stuff under the hood. More examples from other languages without question. So we're taking A as 0.1 and 0.1, so it's 0.01. But when we are trying to check if A equal to 0.01, it's not equal. Again, PHP, floating numbers, all the thing. False. False is not true. Well, false is not true, okay. False, powered by false is also true, and false powered by false, yeah, is true. Yeah, it's true. So we have false and powered by false becoming true. And this is how propaganda works. And again, typing. So string 11 equal to number 11. Okay, PHP is smart. He understands that this is 11, but string, and this is 11. 11 with the leaving 0 also equal to. Okay, thinks, okay, then this is the string, this is the number, and we'll convert this number, this string to the number, and then it will be 11, because it will cut the leading 0. But when we are comparing two strings, it's somehow two different strings with a two different length. So it's 3 symbols, here 2 symbols, but they are still equal. Well, PHP thinks like this. More fun is the very epic talk from Destroy All Your Software. It's a lot of love over there about the strange things in different languages, JavaScript, Python, Ruby. So it takes 5 minutes to watch, but it's the funniest thing ever. Yeah. I'm just waiting for. Yeah. Okay. Dark secret number 4. So we just discussed that coding is pain. There is one little thing. Coding is a real pain. And I mean it as a real pain. Be ready. If you will work like a programmer all the time, you will have a back pain, backache. You will have headaches. You will have tunnel syndrome. Maybe it's in your hands. Some people have specific construction of arm, and when you work a lot in such position, there is inflation over there, and it hurts a lot. So think about this before you will get to this point. And oh yeah, and of course the eye pain. Your eye will be struggling all the time. So what to do? Work standing. most of the time we're sitting, and sitting on a chair is the most, how I would say, nature doesn't create us for sitting on the chairs. And so try to working stand and get a high table. Not all the time, of course, because standing all the time also not good for legs, but switching between sitting, standing. Walk and talk. If you have a meetings, and you will have, when you will work on a solid project, you will have a lot of meetings. Just do walk and talk. So take your phone and go to the street. It's completely okay for the most companies right now when employees just walking during the meeting, because it's about health. Healthy employees work better. So company will not argue with you about walk and talk. Look at the horizon. Just from time to time, in the best case every 15 minutes, just take a 1-minute break and watch somewhere far away. This will help your muscles in the eye to just relax a little bit. And get really comfortable chair. It's important. You will sit a lot. And if you will sit on uncomfortable chair, it will hurt in your, ass. Dark secret number 5, ruined production. And, well, production, you will ruin it. Be sure, everybody ruins production, so be ready to ruin it. One day you will do something and your website, your service or something will just drop down and nothing working and you will, oh god damn it. And yeah, because of this you can feel miserable. Because, oh, I ruined everything, I'm an asshole, and don't be like this. First of all, don't panic. Everybody ruins production. All the time. Even Amazon, even Google, and Facebook have these issues. I don't remember, half a year ago, Facebook had problems with the network. And Facebook employees had no chance to get into the office to fix it because their cards was attached to the service, to Facebook services, which was down. So they just, their cards to enter the office just didn't work. So everybody ruins production, so it's okay. What you really need to do is try to understand what's going on. So what's happened, what you did wrong, and learn your lesson from this. So there is nothing bad to do the mistake, bad only to do the same mistake twice. So learn lessons from your failures, and failure, I would say it's failure is just an opportunity. So take this opportunity, bless you. Dark secret number 6. In fact, if you're ruining production for the first time, you're getting here. It's imposter syndrome, so-called. You think that you're stupid. Everybody around you are very smart, and you're just accidentally get this job. You're dumb, and everybody will see this right, not today, but tomorrow. Everybody just understand you're dumb, and you're living in this feeling, so you imagine that everybody laughs at you behind your back or something like this. This causes fear. You're starting to fear to do anything because, oh, if I will send this pull request right now, everybody will think that I'm dumb. Oh, maybe I will need to take a look a little bit deeper, to work a little bit more on this. And this ruins your performance because anxiousness, and all of this leads to the depression. And depression it's not a good state. You will need a lot of effort to apply to get out of the depression. So don't go there. Just how to fight with this imposter syndrome. Ask for the feedback from the different people, from your lead, from your peers, from, I don't know, a guy at the entrance. Ask everybody about the feedback regularly, just to understand where you really are in this company. So how other people treat you. but be ready to get the negative. So don't ask for the feedback if you want just to get the positive feedback and think, oh yeah, I'm awesome. Be ready that somebody will say, okay, you're a great guy, but this exact part of your behavior, it's ruined everything. For example, you're screaming loudly when you're committing. For example, everybody gets scared in the office. So be ready for negative feedback. Second thing, go public. Participate events like this one. Because you will also be in an environment with the different people, with a different level, and you will be able to see that, oh, I'm not the only guy who, right now, on this level of knowledge. There's a lot of guys like this, and this is cool. Take a mentor. So if you already know something, find somebody who knows less than you and help you. This works great for the two reasons. First reason, when you are trying, you have a lot of, in your head, and you can use this knowledge, but it's unstructured. Your brain just knows where everything is placed in the different parts of your brain. But when you are trying to explain something to somebody, you need to structure this data, because you can't just describe random things from your head. And more of that, when you're getting to the point where you need to explain something, you can understand that, oh, I have a gap here. I don't know why it works like this. So I need to go and to learn how this works. So it will trigger you to learn things that you are missed during your education process. And yeah, psychotherapy. We all need this. Really. Don't be shy to do this. It's okay, because psychotherapists have psychotherapists, and their psychotherapists also have psychotherapists, and they're working in cycle. So it's okay. Dark secret number 7: sleep deprivation. It's the often thing, especially when you're just in the beginning. You need to learn, you need to work, you need to code, you need everything, and you also want, you're learning, for example, JavaScript, but you also want to learn the solidity to get into the Web 3. So, and you think, okay, I'm just 1 hour more and then I'm going to bed. And 5 minutes more and then it's 5 a.m. And oh, god damn it, I need to go to work at 7. It's also not that good for you. First of all, you will go to caffeine addiction. And it's not good for your health state. I will tell a story a little bit about myself. For very long time, I think about 15 years, I lived with sleep deprivation and working all the time and all of this stuff. So a couple of years ago, I understood that I have the high blood pressure, I have non-healthy heart rate, and I have the headaches all the time, and a lot of different things. And they was solved just by going to bed early and reduce amount of coffee and cutting out all this Red Bull and all other energetic stuff. Never drink it, never. And so get rest. Take rest. It's very, very important, because you think you're staying late, you will do more, but it's a myth. You will not do more. You will do longer, but not more, because your performance is decreasing. And more of that, if you will behave with the sleep deprivation in a long time, it will become chronic, and you will have low performance all the time. So it's again will lead you to anxious, again to the depression. So and what to do? Sleep. I don't know how you can fight the sleep deprivation. Well, sleep. And that's secret number 8. It's like bunk. Do you have any ideas? You heard a lot of secrets right now. What do you have an idea? What is the secret? Dark secret number 8. After. Well, quite close to this, but it's really worth it. So all the bad things I described here, they are really, really worth it. So don't be scared about that, because you will get in IT a lot of joy. It's not the like the permanent state. Of course, you will have problems and rise and falls, but in average, you will have a lot of joy because you will be able to do things that change the world and change your life. For example, even if you will just write a simple script which will, I don't know, wake up you very slowly. For example, not just turning alarm on, but just turning the bird singing in an hour before you need to wake up, then turn the light up. So you will be able to solve problems, your life problems with automation. Second thing, it's the catharsis. So you will met a lot of big problems and you will fight with them for days, weeks, sometimes maybe months. But at one point, you will solve them. And this moment, oh, it's, it's like to go to the nirvana. Because you finally feel that you are awesome. Because it was a huge problem and you solved it. And it's really cool feeling. And awesome people, look around. A lot of people just come together to discuss a little bit about IT. Not everybody here is already there. Not everybody will go there, but just want to be somewhere near. And it's cool because, well, you can change the world, you can, and actually, IT is changing the world. And yeah, of course, how about this? We can't forget about the salary. Good salary is also ahead for the good engineers, of course. So, the future depends on us, and only we can decide which future we will have, dark or the light one. And it's Dexter style. Yeah, it's a Dexter style. She just cut and sliced them into the pieces, but no. So, thank you. And, questions? And more of that, I think we're done with the presentation. Oh, yeah, sure.
Where is the dark secret number 9? Playing games.
Oh, well, it's not a secret. It's not a secret, it's a cheat for taking rest. So, yeah, this is other kind of rest. Of course, I didn't cover everything. But one of the playing games is a good thing to switch your mind. Because you will think a lot. You will... and our brain have different layers. There is a sense layer and there is a underlying our unconsciousness layers. So a lot of decisions and solutions to the problems lay under our sense, and we need to give our brain some time to think about the problems without us, without participating in this thinking. The most known example, it's Mendeleev and his table of elements. He dreamt it, but it's not because he just, okay, I'm going to go to sleep, and he just took a random nap, never thought about chemistry or something, and oh, I see the table of elements. It's not like this. He thought about this a really long time, but only his unconsciousness solved the problem, collected everything, every knowledge he had, and wired it all together. Because answer for the question is not only the knowledge, it's connections between the knowledges, different part of the knowledges. And